couple of years ago, as an undergraduate student studying for my bachelor's, I was expected to take some courses, in some departments. And one of those departments I had to take a course from was sociology, because I had studied psychology in my first degree. But there was this specific course that I had to take from sociology, and it was titled Population Problems. When we got into class, the first class, the lecturer came around. By the way, I had an A in that course. The lecturer came around and asked, the first question he asked after he welcomed us all to the class, he then inquired, what is a problem? Everybody described a problem as something negative. Trust us now as Nigerians. You have a problem. Now you're not talking about a population problem. So we just had an idea that we're coming to trash out the problems we have in population. Maybe as a third world nation, or globally, or developing nation. What exactly are the problems that people face with population, ever increasing population or reducing? Those were the kind of things that were in our hearts when we approached the course. And so he said to us that problems are not always negative, but you can always view it as negative. Your perception of what it is what gives it a definition. So he went further to say to us, if you have 5 cars and you don't know which of the cars to go out with on a certain day, is that a problem? Everybody said yes. He said, is it a bad problem? Sir, where are you going to now? We said no. So he gave another example. So we saw how the problems can be good, problems can be bad. It is all tied to the mindsets you have, your approach towards the definition of the word problem. Welcome again to another episode of PV Missions. And today we're still sharing on the subject mindset. Taking a cue from what happened to me in my undergrad, you get to see how that virtually 90%, or if not all of us in the class that day, approached the course. I think it was called SOC 345 or something. We approached the course with a negative mindset, saying that if it is a population problem as a course, as a course title, then it means that we want to deal with a problem. Literally negative. Not knowing that population problem can either be positive, not always negative. So we had a preconceived mindset before we approach things. That is the thing with mindset. We couldn't see the broader picture because our minds already streamlined what we wanted to see. We already had a mindset of what we wanted to hear. The same thing happens to people. They approach businesses with a preconceived mindset. Oh, people don't succeed in that business. You cannot make more than so amounts in that business. So they go into that business not expecting to go beyond a particular thing. So when anyone goes beyond, even happens in the faith, when anyone goes beyond that preconceived mindset, we believe that they must be doing something external. Maybe they are doing jazz, and in this case, not music. And so you get to see how that we have our minds shaped by our environment, our minds shaped by our experiences, our minds shaped to see things in a particular way. I like to always say, life is not always black and white. Approaching life as black and white is always approaching life with an intention to fail. Yes, I understand that some people who lived before us had their approach to life. And so when they are running counsel based on the experiences they had, which in some instances can work, but not always. When you approach life with negativity in your heart, then it would take a little or so much work of overhauling for you to really now view life exactly the way you ought to view it. So, what are you saying? I'm simply saying that everyone born into this world was born with a clean slate. Scientists or scientists will refer to that as, tabula rasa, a clean slate. Nothing there. It is in our exposure, in our yieldedness to information in this age, in this world, that gives us a notion or a mindset about people. Oh yes, I've seen that happen in marriages, intertribal ethnic marriage. Oh, don't marry people from so and so state. They said, why? He said they are always angry. In fact, people from there that you get to meet, some of them also tell you, I remember I'm from so and so place. We have anger issues. They use the preconceived mindset of their people as a defense to continue negatively. Oh yes, we love money. Remember, that is how we are. That shouldn't be an excuse for you to embrace greed. Oh yes, remember we are so and so people. Oh yes, we kill people, we kidnap people, you don't use those things. The society, your environment, or the notion of some people must not define the whole population. That somebody from your tribe, somebody from your ethnic group, or somebody tried something and painted a wrong picture of you, or of your people, does not mean that you should follow suit. You must get to the point where you are given a new definition. Again, hear me and hear me well. There are no good tribes. There are no bad tribes. There are only good people and bad people. If you're Nigerian, if you're an African, if you're an Asian, there are no good Asians. There are no good. It is the people. The people give some measure of coloration to the viewpoint of people concerning their tribe, concerning, how people should view them. And that can paint a picture in our minds, and that can paint a myopic picture. That's my point. So the picture they are painting to you, what they are selling to you, must not necessarily be your reality. How are you going to prevent that? Do not admit that you are what they say you are. Learn, unlearn, relearn. Redefine it. Are we together? Hold on. I started by sharing on population problems as a course I studied in school and all the likes. And I started saying to you how that there was a mindset we approach that with. And I'm telling you, as regards tribe, marriage, relationship, people also have a preconceived mindset. And I'm saying that ought not to be your, reality. You can define something new. You can define something new. I remember when we were much younger and we go out secretly to play football. we get to wound ourselves. And one of the first things we did, I don't know where you're listening from, but one of the first things we did, the people I saw around, which I also did, was that once you discover that you've got a bruise, you place sand there. We believe that it was a quicker first aid, which would not hurt compared to the methylated spirit, that the nurses would apply that will hurt. We believe that the hurt and the pain, was too much. But if you place some measure of dust and sand on your skin, that doesn't hurt. Maybe it would at least ensure that the blood clots stop bleeding and possibly heal on its own. So we do that, we hide it, and we, to the end that our parents don't get to see it. Now, one interesting thing that happens is that after a while, you discover that there's a problem with your body. There's a problem with your skin. The wound is not healing. Your mindset about the methylated spirit or the treatment a nurse will give to you has now made you stay in pain, elongated the healing process. Are we together? So you get to see how that the next thing to do when you discover it's not healing and your parents get to discover it is that they will clean off the surface. Sometimes they will need to peel certain part of it to be able to apply a fresh treatment. Is it painful? Much painful than the initial stage, such that we now learned that once you discover that you've got a bruise, you've got a pain, you've got just a report immediately, so it's addressed at the instance. In fact, I saw a picture of a lady who was on her way to school and had an accident. When she had an accident, the next thing that happened was that, her parents took her to, the accident affected her left or right leg, I'm not so sure now. They took her to a traditional, medicine person who was helping cater for the leg. They put some different things, on the leg, applied on the leg and all the legs. It took them a long time. After a while, they discovered that the leg was not healing. Guess what it did? That was when they now referred her to a hospital, a modern day civilized age. But yet they went African traditional way. So they took her to the hospital, and on getting there, the leg was already decaying based on the treatment or the first approach that they had. It was already decaying. Guess what? The end product of it was that they had to cut the leg. Yeah, they amputated the leg. Would the leg have been prevented from being amputated? Yes, if the first treatment given was strictly medical. Sometimes the mindset we have towards things can be the downfall we experience. The kind of ideal spec you have in your mind, the lady mustn't be busty, she mustn't be tall, she mustn't be this, she mustn't be that. The guy doesn't have to be as tall. He doesn't have to be this. I want a tall guy. I wanted that. I wanted this. Those can be the reasons why we are experiencing certain measures of delay, certain measure of, of things. Again, there is beauty in imperfection. I needed to come to understand that there is beauty in imperfection. And from imperfection, what God has done is that He brought out great things, great virtues. And so we do not experience pain, prolonged pain, by the way, if we have a right mindset towards healing, for instance. Now I'm using healing, okay? I'm using healing as an example. So it's important that that those things can be avoided. A prolonged pain can be avoided if, for instance, we will allow healing to take place. And it's important. So, how do you move from one point A to point B? Number one way to move from point A to point B is to acknowledge that you do not know all. Acknowledge that you are willing to be a better version of yourself. Acknowledge that you're not Alpha and Omega. Acknowledge that there's a limitation to what you know. So in every conversation, in every relationship with people, in every, approach to business, approach it knowing fully well that you do not know all. Approach it knowing fully well that there's more to learn. Okay? Let there be evidence of willingness to learn. Yes, you must be well read. You could have a PhD, you could have multiple doctorates, but yet when you want to run through life, when you want to glide through life, approach life with the mindset that you do not know all and that you're willing to learn. That's one way to change your mindset. So every relationship, everyone you relate with, have a changed perception. Give room for learning. Oh, maybe there's a different way they want to approach this thing. Give room for it. And the more you give room for it, the more you see that you're improving in your interpersonal relationship. You are improving the quality of your life. Oh, someone says drink a lot of water, it's going to do this. Say, no, if you drink a lot of water, you're going to be urinating a lot. Why drink water? Why drink water? Why drink water? It has its health benefits. Yeah, dehydration is one of the reasons why you got to take water a lot, so to avoid dehydration. But when it gets to the point where you go to the toilet every time because you have to urinate a lot, okay, that is also a consequence of taking a lot of water. Okay, but in as much as that is the truth and that's a fact, you must not let go of the benefits, multiple benefits of taking water. I'm just giving an example as regards your body system. Oh, fast. You say, no, I cannot fast. If I fast, this will happen to me. As much as it has a disadvantage when it is prolonged or when it's done without wisdom, it also has multiple advantages and health benefits to your system. So approach every topic, approach everything with a mindset to learn. A mindset to learn. Let people see that you're teachable. That's the only way to adjust. I remember we had a trip to Benin Republic a couple of years ago. We had a mission trip there. That was one of my first trips outside the nation. And so we were there, and the first way these people welcome us is to offer us water. So to show that you accept them is that you drink their water. Whether you're thirsty, whether you're not, you must drink their water. They don't offer you any other thing until you drink their water. So they offered us water. So I was just wondering. I saw them looking around. They weren't going to offer anything else. They were waiting for us to drink the water. And I was wondering, what if I don't feel like drinking the water? They said, well, their mindset is that if you do not drink the water, then you have not accepted them for who they are. So we took the water. They now laughed, then went to bring food. What did they serve us? At the time, I had not eaten that kind of combination before. There was bread, there was lettuce, there was mayonnaise, there was chicken, there was Irish potato. That was basically what they served us. And so, mixing everything together, wow. First taste of it wasn't pleasant at all. But guess what? That is what they offered you. And you must show, again, that you like them and that you honor them. So you have to take what they offer you. And that's the way to show that you respect and you receive what they are offering you. And again, so our mindset had to shift in that instance, that different folks, different strokes for different folks, different people have different approaches to how they have things done. And if you have to be a global person, you must have a changed mindset. You must have a mindset that is open to learning, yielded to being better. A global person is someone who has no fixed mindset towards things. If you discover that you're rigid in your mindset concerning things, then there might be a limitation to how far you can go. Don't worry, we'll continue next week. I hope you've been blessed, refreshed by my sharing today. God bless you. Drop your feedback. It is PV Musings. You have prevailed.